yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Well, good evening, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our services. Happy Hanukkah, we get to say, which is really nice as well. And it's always wonderful when we're here obviously all the time, but we see different faces. But now when so many of you have come back, at least for a few weeks, to join us, it's great to see you back with us tonight. The Hanukkah blessings are always done first. Anybody know why we do Hanukkah blessings before the Shabbat candles? Because you wouldn't want to light candles after you've lit candles. It's kind of logical. So we'll say the blessings. We were told this is brand new carpet. Don't you dare light candles in here. So we'll say the blessings symbolically over the candles.
Are you going to symbolically light too?
Come up here and you can symbolically light this for us, okay? I wasn't kidding.
Yeah. Markinella, yeah, you could do a few things for us.
This is all part of your training. While we sing. Okay, there we go.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Nice.
Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav. V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam.
Thank you.
She'asa nisim lavoteinu, bayamim hahem, ba'azman hazeh.
Thank you. You know, must have been 2 years ago when we tried to light the Chanukiah outside, and they had it on a timer and we couldn't light it. And that's when Michelle knew how to do it online somehow to virtually make flames look like we had lit the candles, which was great.
That was fun.
Please, if you'd like to come up and light Shabbat candles for us. May the Shabbat candles that we now light inspire us to see justly and gently, look honestly and with kindness, and to see what's holy in each other.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. We turn in our prayer books to page 4, the bottom of the page. Hinei ma tov, how good and pleasant it is for us to be together.
And it is so wonderful that we are all here on this Chanukah, on this Shabbat, here together in this space. So please take just a moment to turn around and introduce yourself to someone sitting nearby and say Shabbat Shalom. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
And we'll turn to page 8 in the prayer books, the bottom of the page, and continue responsively with our family prayer. May we never take for granted the gift of Shabbat as we sit nestled in the Rocky Mountains, sharing this humble moment with family and friends. May the section celebrating Shabbat hearten our spirits, and let Shabbat peace bring quiet to ours. Allow this time set aside for song and prayer to bring us closer together in thoughts and deeds. Our place of devotion, glowing with reverence and filled with our traditions. May the end of this week encourage us to examine our actions and let us look ahead toward the new week so we'll be worthy of all of God's blessings. So we welcome the angels of peace, the top of page 8, and join together, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
I think there's something about the familiarity or just the idea of coming to the services, and whether it was here or we were in Israel or other, and you have that tune, and it just brings Shabbat to all of us. And you are luminescent today with your Hanukkah outfit. So
Is this like a familiar Shabbat look for?
it is,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, we lift our eyes to the mountains, not only for skiing, but to also a Sinai, to see where our help comes from. Page 12 at the top of the page.
Sinai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin yavo Ezri. Sinai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai, oseh shamayim va'aretz. Sinai el harim, me'ayin me'ayin nigh el harim me'ayin yavo Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim va'aretz Ezri me'im Adonai Oseh Shamayim va'aretz.
And as we travel back to the 16th century to the town of Sfat in Israel, the beautiful poem Lecha Dodi was written, where it's the center of Jewish mysticism, and they welcomed the Sabbath bride, the top of page 16.
Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad Hishmiyanu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litchila la 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 Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha ki hi mekor haberacha mirosh mikedem nisucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machsheva tchila la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Mikdash melech ir melucha kumitzi mitoch ha'afecha Rav לשבת בעמק הבכה והוא יחמול עלייכם la 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela.
The bottom of page 18, we rise, face the rear of the sanctuary as we greet the Sabbath bride.
Boi v'shalom at eret bala Gam b'simcha u'v'tzala Toch emunei am segula Boi chala La 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 la. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala v'nei Shabbat nikavela.
May be seated. Psalm 92, we're told, was first recited in the temple in Jerusalem. It was recited on Shabbat, and it was a song of praise and thanksgiving. It was with 10 different instruments, so we can only imagine the magnificence of that particular psalm as we continue responsively the top of page 21. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song. Speak in the morning of your loving kindness and your faithfulness each night. Music of the lute and the harp, melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight. As we continue the bottom of page 20.
Tzadik tamar yifrach ke'eres bavanon yizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun B'Seva Deshenim Bera'ananim Yehiyu Lehagid Ki Yashar Adonai Turi V'Elav Latabo.
Well, in 1921 in the Boston Globe, where Dr. Crane had a column called Dr. Crane Says, and each time he gave 10 suggestions. We'll continue responsively, page 23. We'll have our Birmingham guests. You can lead us. If you could lead us responsively, right from here, you just pass it down if you feel like it's too much reading here.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once.
Just for today, I'll be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and be happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be.
Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is, and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have.
Just for today, I'll be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best, praise people for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. If I find fault, I'll forgive it and forget it. I'll try not to improve nor regulate anybody except myself.
Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision.
Just for today, I'll get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I'll appreciate them for what they do and what they are.
Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt.
Just for today, I'll find a little time, quiet, to relax, realize what life is and can be. Time to think about God and get a better perspective of myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give to the world, so the world will give to me.
Thank you. That's like a true Hanukkah message for all of us. We turn to page 24 and rise for our call to worship and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
May be seated. When the author wrote the prayer Ahavat Olam on page 28, he's taking the words of Moses and those of Joshua and made what was said 3,000 years ago relevant today. When there's darkness, we pray that God provides protection until the sun rises in the morning. As we join together at the top of page 28.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Amcha Avta חוקים ומשפטים אותנו למדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה נגה יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל.
As we turn to page 30 at the top of the page, we'll join together in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'en.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
When we wrote the prayer, May we have just enough, we kept in mind how much is enough. It's mostly, I think you have enough if you've got health, wealth, wisdom, and we'll continue responsively at the top of page 33 as we learn about may we have just enough. Source of all goodness, as we join together in prayer, we reflect on blessings that are always within our reach. May we feel healthy enough to arise in the morning and enjoy this beautiful valley gives us each day. May we have wealth enough to be able to care for our own needs and compassionate enough to share our abundance with others. Have enough wisdom to recognize our own faults, not blaming others, working toward being a better person. May we have patience enough to not easily become disheartened, knowing that with faith in the future, tomorrow will be a better day. Middle of page 32 as we join together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Yai lai lai la lai la 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 lai. Ya lai la lai lai yai lai ya la lai. Yai la lai lai ya la lai lai lai.
Well, may we always feel protected in the shadow of your wings, for blessed are you, O God, whose shelter of peace spreads over us, over all people, and over Jerusalem. Hashkivenu in the top of page 34.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, le'amidenu malkeinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, le'amidenu malkeinu lechayim. Ushmor tzeiteinu, uvoeinu, lechaim u'shalom, me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, le'amidenu malkeinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, le'amidenu malkeinu lechayim.
We know that it's not just here that are participating and enjoying the service, but the camera up there is capturing so many more people that are watching, and we get to watch on YouTube. It's not always Friday night. They say they'll put on their pajamas later and then watch it with a glass of wine, which is nice. But we have so many people that do get to watch us from all over the country, and we have, I know over at Seacrest in San Diego they're watching, and then the Groblowskis said, we have a party tonight for Hanukkah in Virginia Beach, but we'll watch later, so don't worry. So we're glad that we can welcome so many different people that are with us tonight from everywhere, as well as all of you that brave the cold. Well, on page 36, it's taken from the verses from the book of Exodus that in 6 days the Lord created the heavens and the earth. The seventh day he ceased from his work and rested.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו Damru Bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat La'asot et HaShabbat L'dorotam berit olam.
The reason we were smiling with Vayinafash is because we keep talking about whether it means to put spirit into your soul or whether God puts breath back into you. And I'm still working on that sermon because I'm trying to figure out what it means myself. But we're getting there. And it's just such an amazing prayer where we talk about Shabbat V'Nafash, that this moment that we have together, it's just 60 minutes away from all the hustle bustle out there, and it puts it all back into us together. Well, we also know that there are those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. If you have a loved one who is, we'd like to remember in need of healing in just a moment, please feel free to share their name aloud as we move about the sanctuary. Page 38 as we continue, Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
We keep in our thoughts and prayers Lynn Ambrose, Emil Arnold, Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Linda Colin, Blanche Deutsch, Lynn Deutschman, Carol Ann Finn, Jane Friedman, and Steve Friedman, Betty Ann Gaynor, Deborah Goldman, Cliff Goldman, Don Graubert, Mike Herman, Ken Imler, Donald Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Skip Clowens, Herman Keek, Brian Kushner, Renee Levine, Rabbi Sue Levy, Charlie Levy, and Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Daniel Rosen, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, Sam Schwartz, Bernie Shavitz, Ann Sheldon, Bill Silvers, Dina Stempler, Maury Strauss, Mark Strauss, Susie Talley, Alan Tenenbaum, Rita Weinstein, Tevi Wellens, Goldie Wetcher, and Mickey Winokur. Thank you. Thank you.
Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor habracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn to page 40 in our prayer books and rise as we continue with the Reader's Kaddish.
We'd like to invite Mark and Ella up to lead us in this prayer. They are going to be reading Torah this summer in June in France to celebrate their bar and bar mitzvah.
Where?
In France.
How exotic. Okay.
And they've been studying hard. All right, go for it.
Okay.
Yitzgadal.
Yitzgadal ve'yitzkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Yama divarach.
Malchutei v'yamich malchutei.
B'chayechon v'yamechon u'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv.
Ve'imeru.
Amen. Yehesh Rabba mevarach. Le'alam u'lam me'omaya. Yitbarach.
v'yitabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitroman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitala, shemei dekudsha,
Barechu.
le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata.
Tishvechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yama.
V'yimeru.
Amen. Wow. So will your service be in French and Hebrew? Yes? Okay. Well, eternal God, be not afraid of silence, for it's more powerful than the unpolished word. It allows God's voice to be heard and tears and doubt to tumble out as we continue top of page 42, then silently through page 57.
Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai.
Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. In the days of Matisyahu ben Yochanan, the great Hasmonean priest and his sons, a cruel power appeared in Israel that would have forced the people Israel to give up Torah and mitzvot. With the help of your sustaining presence, we defended ourselves. The strong did not destroy the weak. The many did not put an end to the few. But renewed ourselves as we rededicated the temple in Jerusalem, relighting the menorah, and setting aside 8 days to celebrate and give thanks, sing praises of relief and gratitude. You may be seated when you've completed the Amida. As we continue with our prayer for peace, the middle of page 56, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom bimromav huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hold on, I have to do what Debbie Friedman would do right now. Debbie Friedman, who wrote that song, who would stop in the middle of absolutely anything that she was doing to tell you all that it goes, Oseh Shalom Bim Romav. It doesn't walk down there. It goes, Bim Romav. She would stop if she was leading a service in the middle of a concert. And to honor her, I feel I must stop and tell you all that as well. So it goes, Bim Romav. Let's try it
Okay.
together.
Bim
Romav.
Romav.
There we go. Okay, we'll start over.
Okay.
Oh, say
shalom.
shalom.
Bim
Bim
Romav.
Romav. Oh, there we go. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'yimeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom. Bim Romav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom. Bim Romav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen. Oh, say shalom. Bim Romav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Amen.
Thank you. And we honor her memory. Well, there's the line in the Talmud. It's taken from Masechet Shabbat. And it said, one should always go up in holiness, never down in holiness. Now, although it's a relatively minor festival, the Jewish calendar, Hanukkah has become, I think, one of our most popular celebrations. It touches so many wonderful themes. You think about religious freedom, you think about fighting evil, the rededication of the temple, and especially the spreading of light. Now, there was one more theme of Hanukkah that I found particularly fascinating. Hanukkah reminds us what it means to be human. There's a basic law, and there really are not very many laws that go together with Hanukkah, but it's simply that when you light your Hanukkah lamp, you're to place it in the window. Now, we beautify the festival with the number of candles that we have on the Chanukiah from day to day. But if you go back, there was an argument 2,000 years ago. It was an argument in the first century between the two great schools of Hillel and Shammai. The school of Shammai said that on the first night of Hanukkah, we should light all 8 lights, then diminish one by one, and that would be historically accurate as to the way the oil lasted for 8 days until the final light. The school of Hillel, remember this is 2,000 years ago, on the other hand said that we should light one light on the first night, and each time we increase the number one by one. Well, of course, we all know that Jews around the world, we follow the opinion of Hillel. But doesn't the school of Shammai, I think, put together a pretty good argument? So the real question is, why should Shammai teach that we lower the number of lights each night? Well, Hillel had to give a reason for this change in practice, and he taught that one of the most important teachings about being human is that we should go up in holiness and never down in holiness. We should always strive to be better in our lives, because holiness is what separates us as human beings from the rest of the animal kingdom. So animals live, well, according to their nature, and they follow their instincts. Humans, we have to rise above our nature. We need to strive to be higher and higher in our levels of holiness. Now, many of the rabbis speak about this whole concept, the ladder of holiness, and how we should strive to climb that ladder. So there's a Hasidic story, I remember it was told by one of my professors, and he said, the Rebbe asks his students, who is higher on the ladder? Someone who's on the 3rd rung or someone who's on the 11th rung? Well, the students all answered, of course, it's the 11th rung. And wrong, of course, the Rebbe would say. Who's higher? It depends on whether they're going up or down. Well, wherever we begin, we're always higher if we're climbing up that ladder of holiness. And there are parts of our world we know that are filled with darkness. And Shammai's vision, and this is what was so interesting about Hanukkah, Shammai's vision, although based on historical fact of diminishing the lights, was to increase darkness, not light, by reducing the number of lights each night until none are left, then we're left in the dark. And that's where Hillel disagreed. He said a festival of lights has to bring more light into the world, and we do so by bringing more holiness or more light into the world. So Hanukkah is the time, I think, for us to consider that ladder of holiness that we're going up. And how can we continue to go up that ladder? Well, our rabbis have seen human beings as suspended somewhere, they write about, between animals and angels. And how can we move up the ladder between and become a little closer to these angels? They said we have to spread the light of holiness throughout the world by going up the ladder and bringing light to the world. And that's one of the messages of Hanukkah, why we display in the window our Chanukiah. We increase the lights each night of Hanukkah. And we have plans that are coming up all the time. As you can see, if you haven't taken one of these, Janet puts this together for us each week, and we've gone to an 8-point font on the back now. We're going to have to shrink it down to 7-point font to fit everyone on here. But we have some amazing things that are coming up, not just the summer programs. We got some new dates for summer when the Israeli soldiers are going to be here from Bishvil HaMachar. If you haven't been to that, it's out at the Molina Ranch, and that'll be the week after the mountaintop service. So they'll be joining us, and we invite you to join us out on the ranch in Walcott, halfway to Steamboat.
We're past Walcott.
Halfway to Steamboat.
Walcott and keep driving.
Right. And of course, we had the dedication, the time and the date now, the dedication of our Jerusalem wall at the hospital just down the road. And we'll be lighting candles again tomorrow. And then on Sunday night, that's Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day, we'll still be lighting candles at 5 o'clock, but we won't have our 4:30 hot drinks at Loaded Joe's because they will be closed. But we will
He
tomorrow.
said he always
so join
likes
us
to
at
let
4:30.
his people go home early on Christmas. So come either bundled up or come just when we're ready to light.
Yes.
Either way. And the book Havurah is pretty amazing. We have Zach Bodner, who's going to be talking about his book, Why Do Jewish? Did you get to read it, Sonny? Did you read the book yet? Yeah, it's pretty, I think it talks about us. It talks about all the different things that we've already done here. So we have to talk to him a little bit before the meeting and say, you're preaching to the choir, but give us a few more ideas, because he's talking about there is no box. Think outside the box. Do the things that bring people together. And why do you do Jewish, not just be Jewish? So it's on Zoom. You're welcome to come. If you haven't read, it doesn't matter. It will be a fascinating time.
We have tons of programs coming up, all of our youth programming, a lot of fun events coming up in January, February, all through the spring and summer. We also have BBYO, our youth group, that has tons of events coming up. Tomorrow evening, we have a Young Professionals event after lighting in Vail in commemoration of the oil for Hanukkah. We're having pizza. And
you said oily pizza.
Oily pizza.
Okay.
At 7 o'clock at Bridge Street Bar. So we'll get you pizza. We'll get you some drinks down there. And see me if you want more information about any of those things. And we have just
And stay in
tons of
touch with
stuff
both of
coming
us.
up. Yes.
Stay in touch with us, because we know when someone was ill, we like to know. You're not always living right here, obviously. And if you are under the weather, we'd like to be able to reach out to you and do whatever we can for you as well. And then start marking your calendar for some of these summer dates, because we are active in the winter, but we are going to be very busy this summer. And again, welcome to all of our guests that are watching on YouTube. We return to our prayer books now. Page 60 as we rise and join together. Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei aratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'emar, V'haya Adonai, L'melech al kol ha'aretz, Bayom hahu, Niyeh Adonai echad, U'shemo echad.
At this moment, in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together, yet strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind those whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Sadie Kaufman, Bob Krasnow, Gerald Kushner, Adolf Lebzelter, Jerry Lehman, Norman Levin, Alma Levine, Eleanor Marks, Mary Louise McCauley, Alan Minsky, Joanne Morrison, Marvin Nelson, Alexis Nickerman, Jack Numeroff, Gerald Olch, Frank Papish, Rosalie Presser-Femelant, Leonard Rudolph, Burton Schiff, Carol Shapiro, Jane Perry Skolnick, Ann Solomon, Arlene Stein, Pearl Sutton, Doris Allen, Harry Baker, Sybil Carsley, Rachel Cohen, Max Cohen, Rosalie Cohen, Irving Dushman, Lynn Egert, Valerie Ellis, Rose Engel, Henry Feldman, Seymour Fleischer, Doris Gardner, Lillian Gelfand, Bernie Gerson, Carol Goldberg, Stanley Goldberg, and Murray Goldman, Benny Abraham Groblaski, Roger Gulperin, Lillian Himmelfarb, Jeanette Hopmeyer, Selma Horwitz, and Eunice Janko. If anyone else is observing yahrzeit this month. Thank you. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found in our prayer books on page 64, and those who wish may join with me as we say, Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayei chon v'yomei chon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'galav v'zman kariv v'imramein. Yehesh me rabba mevarach leolam u'meomaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'imramein. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein. May be seated. And if I forgot this last announcement, Jeannie would have my head. So you can see how we had to transform the Christmas chapel into a sanctuary for Shabbat. We have like 5,000 poinsettias sitting over there that we have to put back. So for anyone who would like to help, we just kind of reestablish some of this stuff around here. It doesn't take long, and she'll show us where to put all this, and then they're ready for their Christmas services coming up really soon. That would be very helpful.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Well, we better get it done tonight then. Okay.
Yeah, we have a Christmas tree up, but they don't have the Chanukiah when they do their
No.
their
We
Christmas.
could. We'll put it back where it came from. That's as for Adon Olam, and we're doing
Let's do Ma'ot Zor.
page 66. We join together.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa b'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol Tifara, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Yeh Betifara, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Yeh Betifara, Vehu Echad Ve'en Sheni, Lehamshila Lehachbira, Bli Reshit, Bli Tachlit, Velo Ha'oz Ve'hamisra, Hu Eli V'chai Goli, Mitzvur Chavli Be'etzara, Vehu Nisi Umanos Li, Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra, Vehu Nisi Umanos Li, Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra, Be'yado Afkid Ruchi, Be'etishan Ve'aira, Ve'im Ruchi Geviati, Adonai li velo ira, Adon olam asher malach, B'terem kol yitzir nivra, Le'ed nasa b'chefsako, Azai melech shemo nikra, Le'ed nasa b'chefsako, Azai melech shemo nikra.
We all rise for a blessing. Adonai ozli amoyatein, Adonai avarech amovat shalom. May the Lord bless his people, all peoples with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pori hagafen l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon.
Shabbat shalom. Is that half for this side?
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.